Alright, people, what's going on? It is me indeed, East Coast Gamer, and as I promised, I will be doing the game recap of yesterday's game between the Knicks and the Spurs. And my oh my, it was a bad game for the Knicks. I believe they lost. It was definitely a 26-point loss. Was the score 119-93? I think it was 119-93, and just very sloppy game overall for the Knicks. Kind of like didn't have energy, and even before that, when the game started, you get the news that Derrick Rose is out with COVID protocol. It's like, oof, big loss, really big loss. Because Derrick Rose has really become that true point guard who can penetrate for us. Because, EP, Alfred Payton, can do that too, but Derrick is not really tunnel visioned. He's been passing a lot more than Alfred. Although, I don't know, they're kind of both the same player, but Derrick at least finishes around the rim. But he's not just being that true point guard facilitator for us, he's also been a very crucial, important leader, mentor to the young guys like an Obi, like an Emmanuel quickly. So to lose that, you kind of knew early in the get-go that's going to be problematic. And we're very injured right now anyways. No Mitchell Robinson, no Taj Gibson, no Austin Rivers. People were wondering where he was. I guess he has an ankle injury. So overall, the team has dealing with some injuries finally, and it was going to be a tough win in San Antonio because the Spurs, even if their best player is only DeRozan's a good player, they're always going to be competitive. They're always going to play hard, and Pop will get the most out of the least. And early on in the game, you could kind of tell that it wasn't going to be a good game for the Knicks. Like, something was just off about this game. Something just didn't feel right. And, Julius Randle was missing early, and there was opportunities for the Knicks to, take a really big lead because the Spurs were just absolutely cold. Like, the Spurs could not hit a shot in that first half. It was back and forth, but you could see it was kind of ugly. And then, the Knicks brought in their bench. And I also want to mention that Trey Lyles was just hitting everything. He was the only person who was just consistently hitting a shot. And when a guy like a Trey Lyles, I don't want to insult, but when a role player comes in and is just hitting everything, not a good sign. Not a good sign. And the kind of gift wrap, the little bow on top of the Christmas present was that end of the half. Patty Mills' 0.4 second or 0.7 second 3-point shot that put the Spurs up by 4. That's big. That was big because the Spurs executed really well and the Knicks just fell asleep. And then the third quarter happened and Patty Mills went off. And the entire Spurs team, they just had any shot they wanted. They wanted to get to the rim, they scored. They wanted to shoot threes, they scored. It was basically just the floodgates opened up after that and it was over. And the Knicks just didn't have energy last night. Kind of, I don't want to say humbled Knicks fans in general, but I think we were getting very excited about the team. And, as a typical fan of a team, when you have a good young team that's exciting to watch, you forget that there's games like this. There's always going to be bad games. You're not going to go 82-0 or 72-0 for this year at least. So, overall, it was disappointing, but shows with the Knicks still are a long way from being a good team, a complete team. And as I mentioned in the previous video, I'm still expecting things to go off the rails, as it typically does. So, yes, we're 18-18. We'll see what happens against the Pistons. But it just shows you guys to be ready for any team and every team, and any team can beat you. And kudos to the Spurs. It's just unbelievable how Greg Popovich has sustained this winning culture, how he sustained this just beautiful ball movement, and how it's always just the next man up mentality. The Spurs are just truly the elite of the organizations in the NBA and in all of sports. And, kudos to them. With all the COVID problems they're dealing with all the injuries. They didn't have Lamarcus Aldridge or Rudy Gay or Derek White, and they still kicked their ass, and that's very impressive of them. And again, always been a great team, always been a fun team to watch. So kudos to this person. For the Knicks, just a tough game overall. Julius Randle didn't have it. You could see that there's some glaring needs for the Knicks in the future. Well, I don't want to jump the gun there. You could see that they're a good team, but they're missing some pieces. And I saw some people, I also want to mention this, I saw some people talking about Obi, talking about how he's not ready, he was a bad pick, A, B, and C about him. I just want to say, let's be patient, people. Let's be patient. Because you don't know with the kid. He could be a bust. He could flame out in the next 2 years. Or he could really become a great player. I still have hopes for Obi. I think, people want him to play more. Where are you going to play him? He's not big enough to play center, and Julius Randle's playing great. So just let him learn. This is going to be a good experience for him. And, heard people say, he's already 22, he's going to be 23. It's actually his birthday today, so Obi, if you were to see this video, happy birthday. Anyways, give the kid some time. Let him work on his game. He's getting better. He'll continue to get better. He's a rookie. He's learning. He's got this. Just chill out. In 3 years, if he's still playing like this, then you have some legit beef. But overall, a disappointing night. But still, good to see the young guys playing. Good to see them continuing to grow. Tough loss. It's a really good Spurs team, though. They've always been good. And one more game till the All-Star break. Hopefully they win it and they can stay above 500. And then we'll see what happens in All-Star break. So we shall see. Tune into the next video, people. I will see you guys tomorrow because they play the Pistons. Unless something comes up, we will see. But overall, I'll see you guys in the next video. Come on, Knicks. Gotta play better. Peace, everybody.